And what are your strengths? That's the other side, because I think everything, comes down to what are you the best at? If you look around in a room of 100 people, there's something that you're better than at least 99% of those people out there, right? What is that, and how can you spend the majority of your time doing that? I think too many salespeople try and be all things to all people instead of doubling down. And like you said, the leadership skill comes in saying, first of all, be real with yourself. What am I not great at? And what do I not enjoy? What am I not passionate about? And who can I find that maybe is great at that or is passionate about that? Because when you fill out those gaps where your shortcomings are, the people that love doing that and are great doing that, I mean, everything comes together.
If you look at great teams, like we can walk around here and there's differences between great teams. And I had the privilege of working with some of the best quiet professionals in the world. Those guys knew that you had a medic, you had an intel guy, you had a master gunner, you had an engineer, you had like everybody had different skill sets. Yes, they were all in special operations, but they all have a very unique thing that they did extremely well. And you began to trust and rely and knew that it was the value of the team.
Right.
And when you build those teams and you build that effectiveness, you just know, this is my lane. Like, proven fact, Michael Jordan on the basketball court, arguably one of the greatest ever. Michael Jordan on a baseball field, he's still a professional athlete, but he's not at that level.
Right.
So if you're in your basketball court and you're in that lane, be able to be there, go find somebody. Go find Ken Griffey Jr. Be on the baseball field to handle that.
Right.
And you'll realize like high tides raise all ships.
Right.
So you'll be able to get much further. In the short term, it's a little bit more frustrating. You're learning dancing maneuvers. You're learning this different stuff. Long term, excellence.
Right. And I think you have to take the ego out of it, right? Because
Absolutely.
And everyone's a control freak nowadays. I think that's just the nature of our lives, right?
Completely.
But to actually let that go, and even to your point, you said, if you can find someone that does that thing, even 80% as good as you do it, and you crunch the numbers, and that makes sense for your business, then do it. But people say, well, I can't find someone that does it 100% as good as me, so I can't hand that off. And I think that's an error.
It's lack of leadership, because if you can't teach what you do, you're not an expert. That's my way. Like, true mastery of your thing is being able to take what you do and explaining it to a 5-year-old.
Right.
If you cannot do that, you're not a master to me in your craft.
Right.
Because those that have mastered it can go ahead and break a very complex subject to somebody that a 5-year-old can understand.
Right. And I think you've seen examples of that too. And an example I always use is Wayne Gretzky, arguably, and I think the best hockey player of all time. When he went to coach the Coyotes, he wasn't the best coach of all time.
Nope.
And he admitted to being frustrated to say, why didn't that guy see that play? Why wasn't he over? Because he's not you. Right?
Absolutely.
He couldn't understand how these people didn't see it. And you see sales managers all the time. Top salesperson, they move into management and they can't manage because they don't understand why these other salespeople don't do things the way they did it.
Absolutely.
Right. And that, to your point, you're not a master then. If you can't teach it, you're not a master.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, I would agree with Wayne Gretzky as well. Like, look at Michael Jordan. Like, he's sitting there and he comes down and he's wanting the same thing. And sometimes those people don't make great teachers. They may be arguably great in one lane, but if you look at great coaches, totally different experience, because what they realize is that it's not about me getting to see what I see. It's about you seeing the best version of yourself.
Right.
And what you're able to do and who you're able to connect with.
Right.
And getting them to their full potential, because not everybody's going to be Wayne Gretzky. Like, you can train me a whole lot in hockey. I'm not getting the Wayne Gretzky capabilities. And that's okay. Like, I'm fine with that.